Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being here. My name is Francesco Maselli. I'm the Italian correspondent of L'Opinion, the French newspaper, and I'm here as a facilitator of this press conference to hear from TELT managers' voice the names of the companies that were awarded the international contract for the construction works of tunnel bays of Lyon-Turin on the Italian side. It's the last part which still had to be awarded. It's a rather outstanding day for TELT. For those of you who don't know, TELT is the French-Italian company which is in charge of constructing and managing the Italian and French section of Lyon-Turin. So today it's the end of a path and the dawn of a further path together. So to start, may I introduce Daniel BURSAUX. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I really thank all the people who are connected or who are in place connected, like Madame Radikova or others. So our works on the Lyon-Turin is marked out by milestones, and this is one of the main of them. It is particularly important, so much so that the board of directors has just awarded the group of companies that will be in charge of the Italian part of the base tunnel, the railway tunnel. So far, all of them have been awarded because for the French part, the contracts were awarded 2 years ago. So this is a rather outstanding milestone, that it was said before. The cross-boarding section of the Lyon-Turin, which runs from Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne and Susa. It's 65 kilometers, and the base tunnel, which is 57.5 kilometers, it's the longest railway tunnel in the world. So today, all the works have been awarded, and out of 163 tunnels and tubes, more than 33 kilometers have already been excavated. So today we're dealing with the Italian section of the base tunnel, which follows the works in Piemonte. This is why this binational construction yard is so crucial, and this is just a result of an excellent operation between Italy and France, and of course all the European institutions that have supported this work since the beginning. This is why I'd like to welcome Mrs. Radikova, who is the coordinator of the Mediterranean corridor for the European Commission. So thank you, and she will address you a speech in the end of the day. So France and Italy have been working together and sealed their common work in different agreements from 1996 to 2001, 2012 and 2015, and 2016 we could ratify the treaty for the cross-boarding section, and that's where we could launch the first public contract. So this experience shows what we know, that we have all been slaving away to reach this milestone all together, as we have worked together for many years, starting from the negotiations, the specifications and negotiations. So more than 7,000 documents were drafted and evaluated by 35 people in 35 meetings and 36 hours. Of course, there are technical criteria and financial criteria that were assessed. as well as the quality. So today we are running towards the end of this schedule. And so thank you. Thanks to all of you and, of course, to the board of directors. But before knowing the award winning of this contract, which is 1.1 billion euro worth, may I thank all those who have worked in the different directorate and units that allowed the works of this phase to be so smooth, regardless of the different tribulations. So, of course, the board of directors and the Minister Salvini and our former CEO Mario Virano, who worked so hard, so determined to achieve this great construction. And we hope we can just take his relay and go on as smoothly as possible. This will be the best way to honor him. And of course, I congratulate Maurizio BUFALINI, his successor, for the competencies and skills he has already proven to have without forgetting all that he has done before. Of course, the contract commission by Jean-François Corté and his work, which was fundamental to shed light on very complicated questions. And of course, may I thank all the directors and members of the board that resolved unanimously for this contract award and allowed the works to go on. May I also thank the IGC and the French-Italian Commission of the Lyon-Turin that all are always enthusiastically working. So thanks to the President, Mr. Foglietta, and Mrs. Beau, which is President of the French Commission, and of course thanks to the European Commission for their financial support that allowed us to make this dream come true. So of course it's the Europe of exchanges that becomes true, and through the Mediterranean corridor and the TEN-T, because we could contribute to decarbonizing the transports and the economic exchanges. So may I just say that the landslide in the Maurienne region shows even more clearly that we really need to achieve this works. So may I now leave the floor to the CEO of TELT, just for him to reveal the names and give you further instructions and details. Thank you. Thank you, President BURSAUX. Of course, as we said before, this is the end of one path and the dawn of another one, which will be just as long. So I was just told that we have more than 400 contracts in streaming. So we really want to know who the winner is, and to do so, may I leave the floor to Maurizio BUFALINI, CEO of TELT, because it's his time now to tell us who the winner is. Actually, it is a pleasure for me to be here. This is just the first time I speak in public as a TELT CEO, and I'm really so sorry to have been appointed because of the loss of architect Virano, who was a beacon and has been such for so many years. We really recall him dearly, and this is a so crucial moment for all of us, because we have to step up a gear now. So all awarding has been done, and from today on, we start working on the base tunnel, just as Mr. President has just reminded us. For us, this is a very happy family. However, we don't forget that there are people who are mourning their family members because of the accident that occurred in Brandizzo. So safety, occupational safety, must be at the core of our discussions in the 21st century. And this is what we're going to do on our construction sites. So today I said it's a happy day because that's a huge success for us. We have one single 65-kilometer long construction site between Saint-Jean-Maurienne and Bussoleno. All the rules to be abided and complied with are the same across. Even anti-mafia regulation is the same, and we are unique of our kind across Europe, based on a recent agreement signed by both Italy and France. Even the material management is binational, so we have the unique opportunity to use the material that is excavated both in Italy and in France, in both countries. So this means opportunities that have been denied so far because of the existence of a border which is invisible underground, but that does exist. So may I chain up with the President for all the thanking. So may I thank again, before revealing the names of the winners, may I thank all the freelancers of the companies that had to strive to have high-level bids submitted, all the social partners, because they have been supporting us for this huge project, as you will know, huge and complex project because of the environmental implications. Italian and French institutions, not to mention the great support of European institutions that are urging us to achieve the works as soon as possible. You've seen that just one tunnel shutdown means a complete shutdown of all the freight movement between France and Italy, and so of all the northwestern part of Italy. So we are aware of our responsibility. We need to keep the schedule. We need to be efficient. We need to work safely, because we know that the connections we are constructing are to be one of the beacons of the 21st century, transport-wise. So just a couple of words on the story of this project, if I may. This is a long-standing project because 1991 was the first moment in which we started discussing about that. You see all the ministries of transports, presidents of the commissions, presidents of the republics, both in France and Italy. So many people on both sides. So this really shows how long this project has gone on. So before turning our slides where the names of the contract winners will be revealed, here they are, the winners of the 3-4 operational site contract are Itinera and Gala, Italian companies, and Spibatignol, French company. So may I congratulate, dearly congratulate the companies for the huge preparation work of the bid. It was extremely complex. So we talking about a twin tube tunnel, which is 10 kilometers long. It's 25 kilometers as a whole, with coverage, a river crossing underground, so complicated. However, we know these complications, and we know the companies too, because we've been working together on both sides of the border for many years now. So we're really, really glad to have them on board. And of course, all the other groups of companies would be just as good. They are also our partners, and they've been such for a long time, but these are the winners. So a couple of words on the contract. As you can see in the slide, the work will go on for 91 months, 7 years, for a contract worth about 1.1 billion euros. The total length of excavation is 28.5 kilometers, of which 18 will be excavated by TBM, and you'll have more details about that by the work manager, and a BURSAUX factory with a positive consequence on the job creation on the territory, because we have 700 more workers in the peak period. So just to conclude very quickly, here you can see all the contracts awarded so far, and these are all. So you see just the skyline of our Alps between Italy and France, and all the operational construction sites. All of them have been awarded to rather outstanding groups of companies, mainly Italian and French companies, with some Swiss companies, both for constructions and work direction. So we have awarded these contracts to very, very high-level companies, and this is justified by the value of the work, which is almost 10 billion euros that will be achieved by 2032, and all the contracts are worth from 300-400 million euros to several billion euros. We have already excavated 34 out of 64 kilometers of tunnels, and there are works in progress almost across the line, both in Italy and France. So we want to turn it into a railway tunnel, and we have launched the contract for technological installations. It is worth 3 billion euros. It will start on 2027, and it will be completed in 2032. So with that, I'm done. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Thanks, Mr. Bufalini, for the details and the explanation. And of course, congratulations to the Italian-French companies that will be in charge of this tunnel, whose length is 28 kilometers, and we're going to touch it too sooner or later. But before leaving the floor to the construction manager, we have a short video to play to show you the site where the TBMs will start working. Right, so here we are again. Thanks for the video. Here we have Mr. Pier Giuseppe Gilli, construction manager of TELT. So may I ask you to come up front and to tell us what the group of companies will have to do in practice? Thank you. Thank you very much for leaving me the floor. Well, it is no trivial endeavor to reuse this material. So as the director said, with that, we have awarded all the contracts for Mont Cenis base tunnel, 3 in France and 1 in Italy. As you see from the slide, we have one single construction site, which is a 65-kilometer long from Saint-Jean-de-Maurienne to Susa. The Italian lot is located in the municipality of Chiomonte, and this lot will go across Chiomonte, Giaglione, Susa, Montpantero, and Venaus territories. The sites of this lot will be 2 in Salbertrand and in Chiomonte. The latter because the 2 TBMs will start excavating towards Susa, while Salbertrand will be the site where the excavated material will be reused. And following to the amendment to the construction sites approved in 2018, the excavation of the base tunnel will start in Chiomonte, and Maddalena construction site is the first construction site opened in Italy in 2012, where the exploration drift was excavated in Maddalena. Now the niches have been launched, the niche work have been launched, and also the works for the highway junctions used and serving the construction site. These are the 2 TBMs, bimodal TBMs to be precise, having special features because they will excavate rock first and foremost, and then uneven lands in Cenis valleys and in the groundwaters. So it will go back, excavating rocks to get out in Susa, the eastern portal of the tunnel, where we still don't know whether the rocks may contain asbestos. So this means technical challenges. You will have to go to 1,800 meters, and as we excavated the exploration drift, we found 42 degrees centigrade and a high level of moisture, almost 100%. So they will be under the groundwater. So of course the land will not allow the water to drain. So there will be excavation across 6 different geological formations, just to end in Maddalena yard in 2025. So first and foremost, there will be the second inclined shaft to get to the base tunnel. Then the twin tube of base tunnel towards Susa for 7.5 kilometers. This is the first TBM. In 2027, we will have the second one excavating 10.5 kilometers towards Susa. As Mr. Bufalini said before, so the contract is worth 1.1 billion euros for 91-month work, 26 kilometers of excavation, and almost 700 workers. Here you see Salvatron site, which is upstream in the Susa Valley. This site will be in charge of reusing the excavation materials. That's where the BURSAUX factory will be located. And of course, the BURSAUX will be made out of the inert material of the excavations. At this moment, the site is being prepared, and just to chain up with that, within the end of the year, more contracts will be awarded for excavation material reuse both in France and in Italy. Because this is one single construction site, the materials, excavation materials, will be managed commonly based on a governmental agreement between Italy and France, because we want to have a balanced and harmonized reuse of those materials. The area covered by Salvatron site include 11,800 square meters, and we will be able to stock about 110 BURSAUX with daily production of 10 BURSAUX and maximum production of 15 BURSAUX per day. And we will have 30 people working in 2 shifts. And the maximum production will have 24/7 work with 3 teams. So you see, this is a huge work. And to the award winners, good luck. Thank you, Mr. Gilli. So we heard from you there will be 700 people working for at least 7 years. So a huge impact on the occupation and employment of these neighboring communities. So to know more about that, may I ask Mrs. Manuela Rocca, the Director of Sustainable Development and Safety of TELT, to come up front to tell us how the works and construction sites will be harmonized with the neighboring communities. Thank you. Today is a wonderful day because we could make it. This is a great success, but it's just one milestone, as it was said. We still have so many challenges to go. So you've heard about what and who so far, but I'd like to tell you how this project will be achieved. So through sustainable lenses, first and foremost, because this is the only way in which you can construct such a huge work, which has a huge impact. The impact can be positive if it is well prepared in all its stages. This is why we didn't just want to have a contract, but also a pact. It's the pact that we sign with all our partners who undertake to share our values and our targets across this path to 2032 and beyond. So this pact has 4 main pillars, not only the quality of the work, of course, but also environment, territory, people, and lawfulness. Why environment? Because Of course, based tunnel construction and Lyon-Turin as a part of TENT has got a decarbonization target in the end, and that's why Europe is the main financer. We also have other challenges. So we have construction sites, and we've been working for years to include aspects and details and also guarantees in our contracts, so to monitor the works and the way in which we work, and to adjust the direction if need be. So we want to work on a high quality base on our 4 pillars. So any improving solution to be submitted will be evaluated and implemented, because Lyon-Turin is also a site for innovation and development for a sustainable work. So we can go on having some more details on these 4 pillars. So this just to show you how the pillar looks like. So the contracts are something like 1,000 pages long, but they will also include these documents, and they're just as crucial as all the others. About environment, of course, there are the inspections by national and international control and monitoring agency. We also want to reduce our impact and to add value to the environment where we work. This is why we wanted to have and create many partnerships with international partners, research institutes, and universities on rather crucial topics like biodiversity, natural resources, and this is why we want to massively reuse excavation materials, not just doing it in the different countries, but at a binational base. This is why we've been working for 5 years to have the first binational regulations to reuse of excavation materials. Then decarbonization, of course. As for people in the sense that we mean all the TELT staff, all the staff of the production sites and construction sites, but also people because we want them to work safely and to work in harmony with the territory and land they will work on, because social impact is paramount, because we are dealing with small communities and we cannot invade them. Of course, this might be an opportunity, but of course, all the workers will learn to live in that community, to consume goods in the community, but this community must be well prepared and the project must be well prepared. This is why we signed Patto per il Territorio, the Pact for the Territory within Regional Law number 4 of Piedmont, that was expressly enforced so that Piedmont territory can exploit the opportunity to have this work, but in a positive way. So among the whole stakeholders of the project, namely training is crucial. General training, because we want to rehabilitate and enhance the territory, because we also have replacement clauses of all the staff in the contracts at the end of the projects in order to guarantee that job seekers in Rivoli and Susa might be favored when we look for staff for our construction sites, the current construction site, not to mention the future construction sites. So I've already given you many details also about territory and social clause, and then démarche, grand chantier, and the pact for the territory are part of what I've already covered. But first and foremost, one of our main choice is not to have the workers enclosed in the construction site, so they live the territory. So they do not have any base camps. They sleep and eat outside the site. And then lawfulness, of course. We are a public principle, and so we must keep the highest attention on lawfulness. As for the controls and monitoring are based on an ad hoc binational regulations, including anti-mafia regulations, and a list where thousands of national and international companies are listed. We also have a collaboration with Guardia di Finanza in Italy and Anti-Corruption Agency in France to have a further inspection on the tender procedures that are ongoing. So because we want to be sustainable, but we also need to check that we are really sustainable, we submitted this challenge to our companies because we want our construction sites to be 100% sustainable and this sustainability to be recognized in Europe and abroad. So this is just an overview of the aspects we are working on, and we are asking our partners and companies to work on. And please be sure that we'll be extremely attentive and available to help you across this path. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mrs. Rocca. So many challenges ahead of us. And all of that would have never been possible without the support of the European Union. Let's move to Brussels, as a matter of fact. So here you have Mrs. Iveta Radikova, coordinator of TEN-T corridor.
Hopefully, the tunnel is building in a quite better way than the digitalization. Otherwise, we are lost in Europe. This is for the beginning, because from the beginning, I have heard only the mixture of all languages, so deeply sorry. This stage was not on my side. Life is complicated, we know it. And first of all, I have to mention the huge tragedy which had happened on the line Milan-Turin this night. And 5 maintenance workers had died after a train really hit them, and they have lost their lives. It's real huge tragedy. It was near the settlement Brandizzo, and I would like, except to say my deep sorrow, also to offer my deepest condolences to families and lovers of these workers. This tragedy will be under the investigation, and in 21st century, workers cannot die when they construct or repair railways. Uh, Another side of the same coin is that the safety has the same importance as the construction itself. And I would kindly ask to take care and to do more and more uh, to guarantee the safety building such huge project and such complicated project. But today I also can congratulate, and this is also life, that we have the same feelings at the same time. And I would like to congratulate TELT and whole team, both in France and in Italy, for today's selections of the winning contractor. It's great. It's great because project is going on, and not only because one project and cross-border connection in between France and Italy, but mainly because the crisis we are facing because of the war, because of the effects of pandemic, the only way out is investment and innovations. And the project Lyon-Turin has both these features. Therefore, it's not only about the building, but mainly of rebuilding our common Europe and solving the effects of our common life condition crisis. I would like to congratulate, and I will not repeat all the facts you have already heard, only maybe mention that if something is stable, you can be sure that stable is the support of EU, because it's since 1994, and it will continue until we have more than 80 cross-border connection, and we will finalize the major part of TEN-T. Looking forward and congratulate, and please take care on the workers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.